How was your filming? I heard you were filming
Oh, it
something
was
down in
great.
Texas.
Yeah, it was actually up in Montana, but that was great. Sethers and his wife were really, really sweet. Very good production value, not, professional and stuck up. False Hawks is it's H.P. Lovecraft mixed with a buddy cop true detective movie, but it's also meant to be funny, so don't take it too seriously.
Can you give us just like a brief idea of the plot?
There is a sort of Leviathan, this Lovecraftian creature that's made contact with someone on Earth who is able to make these puppets that go out and murder people to appease the Leviathan or for whatever reason. Me and Greg are two detectives where we both got kicked off the force for, being good detectives in a corrupt town. Again, similar to True Detective season 1, where they got kicked off for diving too deep, trying to actually put a stop to people.
The black stars are all around. This was such a good season of it's the only season of True Detective I've ever seen. I've never seen, and I think there's like 4 seasons now. I've never seen any of the other ones.
I've only seen the second one when that one detective beats the shit out of his son's bully, or rather beats the shit out of the bully's dad with a pair of brass knuckles and grabs the bully by the hair and says, "Listen, if you fuck with my son again, I'm gonna come back here and butt fuck your father."
Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
who's the guy in season 2? What is it?
I don't know.
That
I've
one
only ever
actor.
seen bits and pieces of True Detective. I just remember that clip going around for a while, every so often on Facebook. If I'm bored at work, just scrolling through brain rot.
Speaking of butt fucking, are you an anal man?
No, I don't.
No.
I'm not. Nah.
I mean,
I'm not.
not receiving, like giving. You know what
Well,
I'm
no,
saying?
no.
No.
I have no interest in eating ass or fucking ass. In fact, I have an important declaration video about such a topic on my YouTube that I uploaded a while ago. Uh, poop is the most toxic, naturally occurring thing on Earth, especially human feces. A lot of times when someone gets pink eye, it's because they either touched something that had feces on it, then touched their eye. They ate ass, and the person wasn't clean, or they 69'd, or pretty much somehow poop got into their eye. It's an exit, not an entrance. I don't want shit all over my dick. I don't want my mouth anywhere near poop. Look, I'll grab a woman's booty cheeks with consent, but that's about it.
Same.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Going back to False Hawks, how long did it take you to film it? 2 days?
It was supposed to be 3 days of filming because of snow throughout the South, because there's no direct flight to Montana. So I had to stop in North Carolina, but that got canceled because of all the snow. Got wickedly delayed, whole 9 yards. Had to fly, I can't remember the airport, but had to fly somewhere else, get a connecting flight from there to go to Montana to film. So I got to the set 11:30 p.m. and then we filmed until 4 or 5 a.m. Then I slept until 11 or 12 in the afternoon, woke up. We did a bit of filming during the day. All the different scenes you see of me and Greg inside those carpeted rooms.
Mhm.
That's one of the buildings that Seth's family owns, and it's actually really cool on the inside. Each room has carpets on the floor and the walls, but each room is just a different color. Really, really trippy building. We filmed there, did the boxing match, filmed some more until early morning. Then the last day, Sunday, I woke up 11 a.m., filmed until 4 or 5 a.m., stayed up because I had to catch a flight at 8 a.m. to get back home. Got back home, recorded one last scene off of my iPod for the movie, just a silly cutaway scene that I come up with. Seth was also very nice in letting me kind of ad-lib and improv a bunch of scenes and recommend, hey, this could be a funny kind of filler scene
Do you we got a release date? Do you have an idea of like an actual release date for it?
From what I understand, Seth is hoping to get it out by spring. I know that he's waiting on a couple of people to send in their own videos. I know that Taylor's going to be in it, and she's recording a scene, and then it's going to be green screened onto this monitor. And it's like me and Greg are talking to her. I know he has hired. I can't remember the narrator's name. He's kind of like Wendigoon or Flesh Simulator YouTube wise, but a bit more esoteric forbidden knowledge.
Nice.
But yeah, I believe spring by the latest. I was surprised that Seth already released a trailer and had already edited together like all the footage we had filmed.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of something on Twitter. I think yesterday or last night. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. I hope you guys like it and enjoy it. I hope I do a good enough job to kind of just show to people that I can actually act.
It's also
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, it looks really quality. I'm kind of in talks with Seth with helping auto-tune one guy's voice for a song. But either way, any way to help, man.
Yeah, I like it when
talk to Seth just because I don't know what he needs necessarily. He knows that if he needs me to do something like a voice line or whatnot, which I did record sound effects and whatnot for a particular scene. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Right. No, yeah, I was just saying, like, I might be potentially helping him down the line when he needs it. That's all. I'm just saying, like, the movie looks high quality, and I'm pumped for it.
Thank you.
Of course, man.
Yeah, it's really cool when the community can kind of get together and fans can get together and kind of make something happen. Super cool. One of the things I wanted to ask you, and I know you've been asked this before, tell us about how you got on to Fishtank. If you can give us the rundown, the lore of all of that.
The quick lore was aware of Fishtank. I was in this group called Fishtank Live Heaven, which is an offshoot of Guy Heaven. Knew who Sam Hyde was. I'd, seen the iDubbbz documentary, and I'd seen the popular clips of him, Nick and Charles that floated around, but I still to this day haven't seen MDE. I'm also not the type of person to get hyper obsessed with someone who I find funny or entertaining to where I learn every little detail about their life or all their associates like hyper analyze their humor, whole nine yards. I had fallen in love with the environment of Fishtank because I had seen that it was completely uncensored. If you go on to Fishtank, you don't have to censor yourself, and you can do practically whatever you want. The important thing is that you at least make sure it's funny and entertaining to the audience. I had made 2 auditions, one after John had left season 1 when it was that dead period, and the other after season 1. Luckily, Sam and Jet never read them or saw them. Then I kept spamming the group chat of Fishtank Live Heaven of how do I apply. They thought I was an annoying schizo at first or some Sam Hyde superfan, but they realized, okay, he just sees it as a good shot to A, make a lot of money, and B, he knows how to be naturally entertaining on his own. He's not just going to sit there and wait for someone to come up and tell him, this is what we're doing today, da-da-da. They saw that I just had a lot of pent-up energy I wanted to unleash in terms of humor and entertainment-wise.
One of the things, quickly in the beginning of the show...
Oh, yeah. Then after that, I made a new audition video for the Craigslist ad, pretending that I had not sent in 2 previous audition videos, lied about about whether or not I knew who Sam was, what Fishtank was, whole 9 yards.
One of the things that came to light in season 2 was that you had friends on the outside, and they had secret codes that they would send you. Could you tell us what some of the codes were, like
Sure.
code words and what they meant, or yeah?
Yeah. Let me see if I think I have a copy or 2. Let me check real quick.
That was really ingenious, by the way.
But yeah, all of that was just a shitpost manifesto. Only some of the codes meant something, and that was just for suggested bits. For example, they had one one code that was my signal to fuck with Jet, but I explained to them I wasn't comfortable doing that because I'm not there to piss off the showrunner. Another one was there was a code for like poop or pee time, but I explained to them, hey, listen, if I can make something silly out of it, maybe, but I'm not trying to do that until very late game, if just not at all. Like, I don't feel comfortable whipping my dick out in front of a camera and pissing on someone's stuff. I think there's another one where I had to pretend that one of the women on the show was my internet girlfriend and become hyper obsessed with them, which I had also turned down. It was just more so suggestions that I had gone along with selectively, just as a sort of thanks to Goon finding me the ad, and also because a lot of them were really funny. Give me 1 second while I go look for that.
Okay.
Let me see. Can't find it, but I do know where it would be digitally. 1 second. This. My apologies for taking so long.
No, you're cool, bro.
There we go. Manifesto Boy. The Gay Ops Manifesto. Play it cool, play by the rules, feel the house out for the first week or so. Don't go full power early. Which I had never planned to go full power. In fact, I never got the chance to go full power. They kept nerfing me. We need to last. Don't hear anything from us for a while. Between day to 1 to 3, make sure to establish yourself as the alpha of the house and loudly proclaim yourself as such. Remember to tell the house about your lore. Start easy. Don't scare the hoes. A build up over time. By the time we hit the toilet wine arc, we should be in full swing on the lore. Talk about Zuckerberg and the bans on Facebook incessantly. Also insist he is a reptilian cyborg. Don't forget Hoardermans. Talk about him constantly too. Constantly call the black guy brother. Constantly. Bring up eating pussy and say, I know my brother here knows what the fuck I mean, ain't that right? Be a little racist to everybody, especially Shinji. I refuse to be racist to Shinji because I knew from the get-go that since he was Japanese, I'd get along with him. Because the Japanese are really, really chill and have good senses of humor. So that's one bit I didn't do. Ask about everyone's thoughts on heaven. Often, just bring it up. Nothing crazy, but talk about your vision of heaven. If any contestant brings up how they know about Sam, talk about how your favorite skit is the one with those guys in the gym. I don't know what that skit is because I haven't seen MDE. Say you haven't seen much but found that one hilarious. If and when Jet comes to ask you for requests on a grocery run, make sure to get those toilet wine ingredients and yeast for the sourdough. Remember, don't eat the yeast. Just keep attempting to make it in the toilet every other day or so. We never got to that arc, sadly. Explain that the house seems ripe for the perfect sourdough. You smell good bacteria in the air. But it's gonna fail every time. Just leave it in the toilet and say the batch turned bad. Do this a few times until eventually you blame the other contestants for having bad bacteria and fucking up your goddamn sourdough. And explain that you'll now never have your medicinal dough, so you'll likely be in excruciating pain from the metal shards in your gut. Also request baby powder. You need talcum. Talcum is your life. Which I did do. Tell the contestants and anyone in the house about the benefits of talking. Explain talking is basically coating your cock and balls in talcum powder. It has health benefits. List off some benefits. Anytime Jet asks for grocery requests, tell him don't forget my baby powder. And when he comes back with the stuff, immediately ask for the baby powder. Leave the room at various occasions to go talc and just announce it every time in different ways. Get creative, but general phrases should be gotta talc or talc it up. Explain that great men throughout history talked. Hitler, Stalin, Robert E. Lee, Julius Caesar was fully torqued and talked when they stabbed him. Important, I need to reference the following conversation to contestants. Have full convos about these topics. You can start this early, within the first week. Shrek, Space Jam, Twilight, Rotten Eggs, The Sims. You'll understand fully when your time in the tank is done, but these need to be referenced in conversations with contestants throughout the show. Those bodies they found in the volcanic ruins with the 5,000-year-old weed were also found covered in talcum. My plums gotta stay frosted, gotta talc. Say ominous things randomly to Jet over time. You should have treated your friends better. Request the book Catcher in the Rye from TTS until you get it. Just constantly bring it up. I changed Catcher in the Rye to something else because I hate Catcher in the Rye. I read it. I didn't like it. It was a slog to read in grade school.
What was the book you asked for?
I can't remember what I had asked for. Maybe it was the Warriors. Let them know it really mellows you out. When you finally get it, read it periodically throughout your day. Claim to be one of the women's virtual husband. This will start with a code, which will be listed below. Don't get physical, obviously. Just be a general love-struck creep. That's one that I refuse to do. This is another one that I didn't get to do, but they stole. Especially after I got kicked out. You're going to have a piggyback ride obsession later on. You're going to ask the fat or larger contestants for piggyback rides once in a while. This does not exclude the women. Ask them to. Ask Sam eventually, not anytime early, but ask him. If he obliges, fucking awesome. If he declines, get distraught and have an autistic fit when he leaves. Explain to contestants the significance of your love of piggyback rides. Tie it to some ridiculous childhood trauma shit. Play your awesome cursed music loudly, even set it as an alarm loudly every morning if possible. Ultimately, dude, do your fucking thing. You got this. Be yourself. Do all the silly shit you have planned to do and do your own thing. We'll be waiting. We'll be watching. These are some activation phrases. Her name is Ayana De Simone. Activation, time to turn up the heat. Full autism. Also expect to hear more from us going forward. Listen, that's in honor of a dead friend of ours named Ayana De Simone. I actually grew up close to her. She sadly died in rehab. What about Building 6? Fuck with a contestant of your choice today. Can be someone annoying you, or you just don't like the cut of their jib. Who gives a fuck? Do something. Smelly women are an aphrodisiac. Find a way to fuck with Jet today. That one I refuse to do. The Dorset biological weapon has been activated. Pee or poop time. Your choice. Figure it out. Make someone's life hell today. That one I refuse to do. It's time to go return some videotapes. Go burp on every woman in the house, including any queers. I was about to do that one towards the end. Wow, that one's a doozy. Choose your virtual wife. Begin. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Shout out Guy Heaven Clan in some ridiculous way and make it obvious where your allegiances lie. Also shout out Goon the Hero. How about some hog corn? Initiate piggyback ride sequence if you haven't already. What about Building 7? That one's just left blank. So these next codes are just the codes that I would prick my ears for, so I would know that whatever the TTS was telling me was saying the truth. Because, you never know who's telling the truth and who's lying with TTS. General messages directly from me or the inner circle speaking on my behalf will begin with the following words. I will never use the same code twice in a row. If I do, disregard no matter what. I'll correct myself if I need to. Also, will refer to myself as Mephisto when it's me and not the inner circle. Spanky, Maverick, Rubber, Tonic, Jergens. If I say the following code, it means the list above is compromised because fans or others caught on. Therefore, disregard them entirely and refer to the secondary list going forward. I don't anticipate this happening early, but it's always possible. The code to trash the above list is Damn Son, where'd you find this? That would introduce this set. Newport, Old English, Tinnitus, Chalupa, Jalapeno. Fuck it, here's a third set just in case autistic fans catch on again. This won't be activated by I'm fully torqued, I need some relief. Sambo, Buffalo Rome, Nugget, Chimp, Razor. You know what this code means. Donkey Kong has gone off the rails. I don't anticipate we will have to use this one. When you win, proclaim Guy Heaven as the rulers. Or if you get eliminated, but that won't happen. You fucking got this. Let's get that fucking family farm back. And that's the full little shitpost manifesto thing that got blown way out of proportion.
I don't even know if I would be able to remember half of that. Right? I would think that at
That's
some
why
point
that's why I
everything would-
printed it out and brought it with me. And then people got skitsy and paranoid. Then Jet was convinced that I was there working for some fucking group and was actually there to destroy the show. And even when I was pouring my heart out to him and explaining, hey, if I was here to destroy the show, I would have just stuck a fork in the electrical socket or fucked with the water pipes.
What group did he think you were with?
He thought I was part of House Bomb.
The clothing company?
Yeah.
I don't even think they make clothes anymore.
It's just some weird mumble rap collective because one guy from the Shitpost Manifesto was being commissioned to do graphic designs for them, even though I was pretty animate about how I don't like mumble rap and I don't like hard drugs. So I would not be allowed in that group for not liking mumble rap alone.
What's the hardest drug you like?
Probably mushrooms.
I
That's
like
about as hard as I go.
Yeah. Thanks. I thought you were gonna say something like, probably like, I don't know, PCP.
No.
know,
I accidentally did that shit once. I thought I murdered my best friend and was
Jesus
going to
Christ.
prison. Yeah, no, that PCP isn't fun.
You thought you murdered, like, were you tripping? You thought you murdered him, or did you like fight him? What happened?
No, I was tripping, and I thought I had murdered him because some guy, I guess, accidentally gave me a dipper when I asked for a cigarette.
Holy
And so I smoked it at my friend's house, and they had the Investigation Discovery channel on, and I thought I had murdered him and was going through the prison system.
That's fucking insane, man.
It was horrifying. Never touching that shit again. And I've been clean from coke since 2016. After I escaped Utah, I developed a bit of a coke habit.
Yeah, what can you tell us a bit about that specifically? Growing up, I was I'm a little bit older, but growing up I was a pretty wild child, and my mom had placed me in multiple kind of like, I guess you'd call them like almost like psych wards or psych camps or hospitals for like children's hospitals to like essentially have them be like, yeah, your kid's psycho, give him these pills, right? And that was like an on and off thing up until I was about like 14 or 15. Can you tell us about your experience going to the one in Utah?
Sure. So these places are not like the places you went to at all. There is no therapeutic benefit whatsoever. There is absolutely no ethics. Just a continuation of the old insane asylum sanitarium programs that I'm sure you're familiar with, where they would just abuse the shit out of the patients, and most of the patients wouldn't even be insane. They would just be sent there by family members that didn't want them or didn't like them. My mom's always been the kind where whenever she gets upset, she would take her anger out on me or my sister. I just failed out of my first college, a shithole called Juniata, which I'm determined to buy and burn to the ground because it's just that much of a god-awful place. And my dad had just divorced my mom after she got caught cheating on him. She decided to take her anger out on me. Said, I also, mind you, I could not get a job because I just got my tonsils out. One issue I had growing up is I'd fall asleep all the time, but the public school system and schools in general are trained to just assume that if a kid's falling asleep all the time, that they're either lazy, staying up all night, or they're on drugs. So I was never given a sleep test until I was 18. And that's when it was discovered that my tonsils were so large that they were suffocating me at night and giving me sleep apnea, because I would never be able to go into full REM sleep because my body would be too busy unchoking myself to allow my brain to go into a full REM sleep and actually get rest. So I got my tonsils out, so I was on Vicodin, other painkillers. And yeah, mom wasn't letting me go out and hang out with friends or do anything like that because... yeah, I did not have a very good upbringing necessarily. So yeah, she lied to me about this place, just to take her anger out on me. Talked to some faggot named Ellen Hunt or Helen Hunt, who told her to send me to some shithole called a Spiro, and on top of which my mom falsified a 302 form to send me there.
For the people that don't know, what is a 302 form?
A 302 form is used for people with bipolar schizophrenia who haven't taken their meds and are just going crazy. I have neither. I wasn't crazy. I was just naturally depressed. My parents had just gotten divorced. They were selling my childhood farm, and I just failed out of college because I got mono, Lyme's disease, and sleep apnea. And this is also, the first time I went to college was when I graduated 2014. So this is kind of the peak of social justice bullshit. To give you an idea, I got in trouble at Juniata, because you know how colleges will make you retake all those bullshit English and writing classes. They had asked me to write an essay of what are 3 goals that you want to have at college. I put one of my goals as being a ladies' man, because, throughout grade school, I would always get bullied by all sides, was considered hideous, would always get made fun of for my voice, and I got sent to the principal's office with the accusation that me saying I want to be a ladies' man means I want to abuse women. To give you an idea, when some nasty bitch there gave me a yeast infection after I fucked her, the nurses called me sexist for wanting to tell them who gave it to me just so she wouldn't spread it anymore, stating that, oh, well, yeast is a naturally occurring thing in a woman's vagina. It's like, it's not supposed to give dudes yeast infection. It's just another overpriced shithole like most colleges are. It didn't help that my mom would not let me go to any big university because she had that delusion of, oh, you'll be a big fish in a small pond. When in reality, it's just a repeat of high school. I fucking hated high school. So yeah, after I got to the place in Utah, by law, they're supposed to let me go. When I said, hey, this isn't what I signed up for, I'm out. But instead, they kept me there, forced to march around with 100 plus pounds. If you disobeyed, they deny you your weekly shower or even food. If you really disobeyed, they'd put you in this group where you weren't allowed to speak unless the homeless people they employed, it's just a bunch of homeless losers who work at these places and social workers who claim to be therapists but aren't. Like, you know, the arrogant losers who stupidly get shit like philosophy degrees in college and then take their anger out on everyone else because of their own retarded mistake of getting a worthless degree. That's the type of people you're dealing with. Because I was in the adult section, it wasn't as bad as if you're a kid. Because if you're a kid there, you are just guaranteed to be savagely beaten, raped. Yeah. And there's all these places. If you watch the program, Cons, Cults, and Kidnappings on Netflix or Hell Camp, you can get a good surface level understanding before you dive deeper down the rabbit hole. Or watch the Forge Picks podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, going in and out of these hospitals when I was younger is that there always seemed to be sexual abuse going on to some extent that I noticed. That I was never, a victim of sexual abuse myself, but I definitely do remember, being a child and being in these programs and seeing something like that, or even, excuse me, even such as what's the other one? Outward Bound. I went on Outward Bound.
Outward Bound's one of them. Because
Outward Bound is a very similar type of situation.
Yes.
When you get a bunch of go ahead.
That's what they call wilderness. That's what they call wilderness therapy, which there's no therapeutic qualities. It's just the kids kidnapped in the middle of the night if they're underage, and if they try to resist that, they're savagely beaten.
Yeah, I did Outward Bound as well, and there was some weird stuff that happened while I was at Outward Bound. It's just really weird. There was this girl at Outward Bound. She disappeared one night, and apparently, what we were told was that she hadn't pooped for like 16 days, and they had to take her to the hospital in the middle of the night because she was impacted with poop, and we never saw her again. So this was like towards the very end of the Outward Bound thing. And this girl that was with us was like kind of like a whore. I want to say a whore, very sexually promiscuous for her age. So who knows what happened to that girl? But yeah, I definitely kind of know where you're coming from in regards to these sort of programs. Let's go back to the tank thing. I want to ask, when you were in the tank, though, when you first got there, like, who stood out as your opposition? Who was your biggest? Who did you think it was going to be you and you against in the end, and who was going home first? If you kind of size up your competition.
In terms of, I didn't really look at any opposition and think, I'm going to have to fight them at the end. I looked at them and said, okay, I got to get them out. I wanted to be me and Shinji at the end, because that just would have been a fun but also heartbreaking battle. I feel like I still love Shinji with all my heart. I still consider him one of my best friends. In terms of who I wanted to leave first, I wanted JC to leave first, because she was 18. So my mind immediately went to
Plant.
That's weird that she's 18 in here when the ad said 21 and over, and give her a cigarette or anything if she asks, then we're automatically out. And then she started trying to police my speech, everyone else's speech, whole 9 yards, and it was just annoying. Like they don't show it in the episodes. I don't know why. If you ask me, it's probably because JC, before the episodes were about to drop, kind of starts sucking up to Fishtank, even though I know for a fact that she hated Fishtank when she first left, because, it's not super social justice-y or whatnot. And so they definitely edited it, make it seem like we were unreasonably mad or unreasonably didn't like her. When before the confrontation...
You definitely went off on her. But yeah, prior to that, you guys were cool, seemed like.
No, she was really annoying to me and everyone else. We had a whole 2-hour conversation before confronting her. That was completely cut out of the episodes. So it just seems more random, when in reality it's everyone talking about how they're just annoyed by her, like constantly trying to force her morality on other people and just saying really weird sociopathic shit. For example, there's a recorded interview she had with my sister where she said fucked up shit that she keeps trying to claim, oh, that never happened. When the episode came out of the confrontation, she tried to restart beef and try to get Trish involved. And then when I just wasn't taken in, just threw shade back, she started crying like a victim. And then, of course, there's the infamous Scott interview where she says, and I quote, Jimmy deserves everything bad that happens to him. Where she started crying saying, oh, Scott made me say that, but I know that's bullshit because I know Scott, and that's not his style.
Yeah, Scott's a pretty cool guy. I wouldn't imagine him, trying to start beef.
Yeah, he's not like that at all. It's just a very annoying thing. And weirdly, even though my sister told her that, yeah, the Utah programs are real, me and Jimmy both went to them. My sister went to worse ones, again, just because my mom couldn't stop siding with her abusers, so she became suicidal, as one does. And she still is kind of wondering, well, wait, did any of you guys fake your life stories? And it's like, no, we didn't. We didn't, JC. But we were all concerned, especially when said that the people she hates the most are those who displease her, and everyone collectively in the tank just kind of looked at each other like, what the fuck's this bitch on about? The point I'm trying to make is that there was a lot of why we didn't like her. I would argue even more so compared to Summer, because everyone, especially at the end when me and Shinji threw our hands up when Summer thought that everyone but her was an actor and was demanding to be paid the winning prize, people still felt a lot of sympathy for her and could understand that she was just, I'm cool with Summer, mind you, but that she was just going insane, truly. No one felt that way about JC. And all the stuff that was cut out of those episodes was kind of disappointing because it cuts out a lot of context for what led up to that moment. And it's just a case of, why are you giving this girl a favorable light when she only just started brown-nosing you guys to get that favorable light?
What about, could you see TJ, going all the way? Like, I still to this day can't believe that TJ won season 2.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Look, me and TJ are cool now, but there's no denying that he was considerably given the kid gloves. They were always sitting with him, helping him. They certainly didn't do to him what they did to me, where it was, oh yeah, we're going to block any and all positive TTS and only let negative TTS go through. For the last week and a half I'm there, which my childhood friends, my actual in real life friends, who I had watching the site to give me a list of my biggest haters so I knew who I can and cannot trust, which is how I knew that Mondo Clan fucking hated me. So when people asked, who do you want us to destroy, I just said Mondo Clan, and sure enough it was destroyed. But I could see it. There was, again, this isn't even anything against TJ, but there were a lot of elimination challenges that he had lost that they would suddenly do a rug pull of, okay, no one's eliminated. It was considerably clear that behind the scenes favorites were being played, not by Sam, but yeah. And you're at post Mallet incident, I'm just chilling in a hotel room and I learn all that, so I come back really pissed.
Post Mallet incident, right? Let's go to what I want to know is the night you guys, the night you found out that everybody was Squidwards, right? Everybody was essentially MDE fans. One of the funniest things was you had written a note and you were like showing Shinji the note, and Shinji kind of knew, and Brian knew, and then you're like, I need to eat this evidence, and you ate the paper, and then you went and broke the news to everybody. As a fan of Fishtank, at that moment, collectively everybody was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck." Everybody knows, like everybody's in on it, right? But ultimately, I feel like season 2 was probably the best season so far. I don't know. They're all different in their own separate ways. But season 2 was probably one of my favorites personally. When you found out that everybody was a fan or everybody had an idea of what the show was there a moment where you're like, all right, they're really gonna fucking amp it up on us now, or they're really gonna...
No, my mindset was because Cole, who was my biggest rival at first, only because he tried to accuse me of being the plant to get me eliminated night one. So that's why I immediately honed in on him as well as being a big threat. Which I love Cole, and I felt bad after I learned that most of what he was doing was just an act. I just felt a sigh of relief because Jet had never told me that he had told everyone else that I wasn't the plant. And I'd also never been given the instructions of, you're the only plant. I just assumed I was going in as the only fan of Fishtank, and I had snuck in. I just breathed a sigh of relief because I knew that, I could be eliminated via elimination challenge. I was safe from being immediately eliminated for being the plant. And that everyone would chill the fuck out and stop being so uptight about everything and just have fun. Cry or bitch or moan over whenever I would say a bad word or something.
Yeah, I think the night that was also the same night that Summer left, I think. When everybody was in the bedroom and they were chanting, "Think it, dream it, do it," and the sharks were pouring the trash out on the floor. To me, that's when season 2 started. Were you given any inkling or information as to why Cole went home or anything like that? Why he was sent home?
Yeah, because he thought, I think Sam told him in that to pack his shit, and then Ben told him that they had his replacement, so he just assumed he was getting kicked out for his rant at the end.
Oh, where he was in the room and he name dropped Letty, right? What about when the challenge, I guess, was the triathlon the same day that Dunier showed up?
Yes.
Same day. When you essentially pressed Taylor, right? Was there a feeling that you were going to be sent home after that?
Yes, just because I didn't know how mad they would be, them being production, and I was just mad and had assumed she was there to fuck with me like CK was there to fuck with Brian, because Taylor shows up and the first couple of days she's just talking shit about me to the other fish, fine, whatever, but then she's kind of just throwing this elimination challenge and not eating any of the hot dog bread, not really smoking any of the cigarettes, and it was just a case of, okay, so you're here to sabotage me, and then I blew up.
Yeah, then they kind of made like a bit out of it, right? Like they made you take the telephone and call your handlers and all that jazz. Let me see here. What do I want to ask? They really seem to like fucking with you. And there's a couple of things that like stand out in my mind. One of them is there was a scene where you were sitting at the bar by yourself and Max had come up to the bar, Mac Cowboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was sitting at the bar and you were talking and you were like telling him like, very almost like private personal information. And it just seemed like Max like really didn't give a fuck what you were saying. Like it was like almost like he was like, there was like a very like condescending approach to how he was like taking you talking to him. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip or anything like that. And then with Delaney as well. Delaney, there was a part in the show where Delaney was, you're excommunicated. You had to sleep in the living room area. And Delaney was in there and you guys were talking and you could like audibly hear production at the bar, like talking shit about everybody in the house. And
that's
Delaney,
why I got pissed. And that's why I got pissed off and just said, fuck y'all faggots. And that's why I just wrote the notes. Because that was after the Tuesday happened. And I figured that Taylor had kept an eye on me and told production, just go do this and fuck with Jimmy. So I was just really pissed off, especially since I believe the night before, everyone else was allowed to drink because they thought I was drunk the bread incident day, which I wasn't. I was just mad and stressed. And funny enough, they also dropped Nifty's real name during that conversation, and then were upset with me for saying Nifty's real name and concerned as to how I found it out. But it was a case of you said it in front of me. I don't like Nifty.
Yeah,
I'm going to remember that.
It's made very apparent. At what point did you stop liking or not like Nifty? Because I clearly remember you trying to cuddle up with her and
for $1,500. That's a lot of money for a little bit more than a kiss.
Trying to put the Mac down on her.
It was all an act to make to guarantee I was leaving with a bonus $1,500. So for a little bit more than a kiss on the cheek.
Was there
one 10-minute cuddling or 5-minute cuddling that counts as more than a kiss on a cheek?
I think so, yeah. 2
minutes. And I didn't like her from the beginning because it was just another case of she was trying to police what I would say whole 9 yards. I was like talking to a brick wall. Another case of similar to JC of her saying, "Oh, why are you referring to these people that run these behavioral modification programs that abuse children in every way possible? Why are you using such harsh language to describe them?" And then me sitting there looking at her thinking these are child abusers. What the fuck? What do you mean? Why am I talking about them in this way? There's a reason that in prisons, child abusers are the lowest of the low and get the worst treatment.
Looking at like you in season 2 and season 2.5, it really seems like they just love fucking with you, right? More so than anybody else, especially like with the constant Jimmy fucks dogs, right? The video game where you're trying to fuck the dogs.
The video game was funny. I do like that. I don't know. It's just another stupid case of like when I was in grade school, people thought it would be fine to make me mad. Then I blow up. Then they cry about it. It's just the same retarded pattern.
Have they reached out to you for anything in the future? Okay.
Full disclaimer. There's no hatred between me or production or anything. It's you're talking about season 2, so that's going to bring up bad memories and annoyances.
No problem.
NDA as to why they fuck with me. I don't know. It's just again a stupid idea of if you're going to fuck with someone to make them mad, don't be upset when they get mad.
Yeah. It's always funny to watch somebody get mad, right? It's never fun when it's you that's getting made fun of. But it's always funny.
It's not always funny. It depends on how you're making the person mad. If you are making the person mad through very stupid and childish shit, that's one thing. But if it's just nonstop pressure and other bullshit going on, then it's just not funny. It's just a case of, well, okay, what are you doing? You're just getting a person mad, then clutching your pearls when they get mad or blow up. You can either be the bully or the victim. You can't be both.
With regards to Shinji, right? I was talking with Scott a couple weeks ago, and he said that he's spoken with Shinji recently. Actually, I think he said he saw Shinji was doing something. Have you spoken with Shinji?
I'm able to talk to him through Twitter here and there. He's Japanese and only has iMessage. I have a Samsung, so we're not able to text through the phone, but I do message him. I don't message him constantly because I don't want to bother or annoy him, but I do message him.
What about, I heard Brian just got married. Have you spoken with Brian?
Yeah, I speak with Brian. I'm very happy for his engagement.
Oh, is he engaged? Okay, maybe I was wrong.
I haven't seen any wedding photos. It could have happened, and I just missed seeing all the photos. But it looks like it's just an engagement ring.
Someone in the chat asked if you're cool with Meg.
Yeah,
you guys have spoken.
Meg was the first person I hung out with after season 2. She's very sweet, very funny, and she even told me, I apologized to her when I first saw her because I was always under the impression I had caused her to leave, and she explained to me no. It's because season 2, when any of us got sick, they wouldn't actually let us recuperate or just give us Advil and let us rest for the day. Just kind of a non-stop joke, or in some cases just giving us stuff to make us more sick. And that's what made her say, yeah, fuck this.
One of the things is that one of the editors for season 2 pops in here from time to time and talks to people here. Is there a specific moment in season 2 that hasn't made it to the show yet that you would like to add or you would like to have added?
There
When
are
it's said and done?
countless. I mean, there are countless moments. A lot of the different times I was just doing silly, lighthearted shit that people seem to like, yelling at inanimate objects, like the dishwasher for not working, but playing it up to, be silly in front of the camera, always doing the dishes, always keeping the house cleaned. I do hope that they include the fact that for my elimination, I just took all the toilet paper that I brought to the show with me. Then everyone wondered why there is no more toilet paper.
The somebody in the chat wants to know if you are really related to Morton Downey Jr.
Yes, he's my granduncle.
Nice.
He's my
And
grandfather's brother.
if you have access to anything from the show, his show.
He was my granduncle. He was not close with my grandfather or my dad or any of my dad's siblings. He also had 6 different wives, and each wife has a daughter, so that's a lot of dividing up.
That's a lot of kids, man.
Yeah.
Putting it down. What else we got here? I got some other questions here. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Have you watched obviously you've seen some of season 3. How much of season 3 did you watch?
All of it.
If you could have changed anything in season 3, what would you have changed?
Don't hire a bunch of Nepo normies, because the first 2 weeks were grueling to watch, because all that they do most of the time, especially after Luke left, is just sit around and cry all day, with the exception of Bert, Alex, and Binks. And it was just a slog, a really tough slog to watch, because it was just so boring, and they were just crying nonstop. It was just a case of shut the fuck up. If the season 2 cast was given the environment and the treatment that the season 3 cast got, we would have all performed way better.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a good blend of normies and there's like a good blend of like normies and people who actually know what the show is. The only problem I would see with that is even with normies, like they're going to be very prone to leaving, right?
That's why it's 1/3 Nepo normies, 1/3 rough and tumble blue collar workers, especially from the South. If you just explain to them this is an uncensored show, expect to be fucked around with, but you can also fuck around with other people. And then people who know of the show and are fans of the show, with the order of keep your mouth shut, don't do any cringy references, don't spoil any surprises to those who don't know.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good blend, because if the Nepo normies leave, which most of them will, but you might get 1 or 2 that stays and has a sort of personality change for the better. Well, they only make up 1/3 of the cast, so who gives a shit? You still have 2/3 left over. That's more than half. And you can just bring in extra freeloaders to keep things going.
I agree with what you say, though. The first 2 weeks were definitely boring. I think the highlights of the 2 weeks were whenever like Sam and Ben would be arguing, right? And I'm like, oh, This is when it's gonna happen. He's gonna snap. Something's gonna happen, and then it never happened, right?
Yeah, and the highlights was whenever production would come up to do something silly, Luke smashing the pumpkin and banging the pots and pans together, which is, I mean, for God's sake, he was still top 3 most entertaining fish up till he returned, and then immediately became the most entertaining. Again, that should tell you everything about the cast. If a guy who was only there for 3 days was able to be that much more entertaining than the rest of you, just on his own too.
Yeah, I really like.
And he saved the show. He saved the show by coming back. Honestly.
I honestly feel like he did. I think that his interactions with Bert, it was very like buddy cop, right? Like his interactions with Bert were quite humorous, and a lot of stuff a lot of people didn't see because they were either watching another camera or they were broke and they had director camera and they weren't watching, some of the other stuff that went on. But his interactions with Bert were, in my opinion, some of the funniest content to come out the last third of the show. Fert Enjoyer is asking how is your relationship with Abby now after the show?
Me and her are chill now. Once Fishtank ended and she realized I didn't send a single mean TTS to her, the worst I ever said to her was, she was complaining about the smell of shit in the bathroom, so I just sent in an Indian voice. How can you call yourself the Blumpkin Queen if you can't handle the smell of doo-doo? Is it because it's not from a black or brown man? And I think after that she realized, okay, Jimmy really isn't ordering all these people to go after me or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, me and her are chill.
And then he also asks if you have spoken with Summer since the show, and if you have
Yes.
shot your shot, shooted your shot.
Nope. I
Nope.
I don't shoot my shots. That's not how I flirt. That's why I always hate the challenges of go flirt or seduce this woman. Because my method of flirting is sitting there and letting them approach me.
That's my
I mean,
method. This shit don't work for me though.
It can.
I think I need more aura.
Not necessarily. Just be more chill. Like, don't push the idea of sex, desperation, loneliness. Just push it out of your mind. Practice being a bit more animated in a friendly way, but not a creepy friendly way. And they usually respond to that.
What if I just leaked my sexy photos to him? What do you think if I just did that?
That's a terrible idea.
Showed him my sexy photos. You don't think that would work?
No, there are a lot of women who like fat men.
That's right.
In fact, most famously, Fat Lover 69.
Oh, Fat Lover 69. My DMs are open. Hit me up. What's she look like?
Very fit, autistic Ukrainian with giant tits.
Holy molies.
But yeah, just Google Fat Lover 69 real quick and you'll see her.
I will. I'm gonna hit her up right after this.
She's vanished from the internet, so good luck. Good luck on your journey.
My boy Bimmy, as you all know, everybody knows Bimmy. Bimmy is probably your biggest fan. He was set to come in on season 2 as a Jimmy clone. He would love to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Are you still there, Bimmy?
Wait, I would? No, I'm kidding. What's cracking, Jimmy? I'm just here.
Turn your camera on, Bimmy.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, wrong. I'm a boomer when it comes to this shit. What's cracking? Here's me, Novia. Fucking. I think you might have some questions, but no, just oh my god, like I don't really have any questions off the top of my head. What?
Jesus.
Sorry, what?
The
camera. Yeah, sorry. What?
You're good.
Okay. No, I don't think I have any questions off the top of my head, but we're gonna be watching a movie we bought off you, The Aristocrats, courtesy of Orderman. So hopefully that'll be a good one. Other than that, oh yeah, what was, like, aside from that one capstone experiment that you wanted to do with the props that you wanted to bring on the show, what was another thing that you wanted to do but you couldn't do because Jet wouldn't like let you bring props on?
Another plan I had was to bring an antique triangle toaster and set it up, and then insist to all the men that we have to put our penis in it.
Oh hell yeah!
And close it, and that it's the initiation ritual to be allowed to say on the show.
Okay.
I wanted to bring 2 moldy paintings to roleplay as what is it? Dawnbreaker from Metal Gear Rising. Is that the guy with all the shields?
I think I never played Metal Gear other than Revengeance, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Metal Gear Revengeance. Who's the guy with all the shields who says I'm fucking invincible?
Oh, that dude. I'm bad with names, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wanted to bring those on. There's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. Too much to count.
Okay.
I'm surprised he hasn't asked you what your favorite Resident Evil game is.
Oh yeah, shit. What is your favorite? Well, he said 4 in multiple of his streams.
Oh, I've never.
4.
Yeah.
If I ever get the chance, I'll get you the Revelations games. Those have the fucking best video game soundtrack I've ever heard. Like, really atmospheric, really good. My girl has a question, if you don't mind me, Shiz.
So because Mike told me about Fishtank, and I'm not really into like I like the internet, but I was just when I saw, I just felt like what I think Shits was saying is that I felt like a lot of the times they were really trying to be against you, and I would even tell Mike hey, what the heck, why isn't anyone doing anything? And I don't know, I felt like, to be honest, the season 2 we only watched when I found out that you were off. I was like, I don't even want to watch this show
Honestly, there was a
anymore.
dead period when you got kicked off. I mean,
Yeah.
understandably so, but like you were saying, like nothing against TJ, he's cool and all that, but like they were kind of rigging it in his favor, you
Well,
know?
that's what I wanted to ask. Like, was it kind of scripted for certain people to win certain fights? Because even like the fight with, I don't know if this is like off topic, but Blood Games with like what's that guy?
John?
The guy who thought he was all that.
Oh, John
Yeah,
at the end?
John. Like, I didn't think he was meant to win. So I don't know if any of that was like rigged or fixed or something.
I feel like that they do fix things here and
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. Like last minute rug pulls and shit.
I'm
I
not
think-
sure. Something like that.
Yeah, a variety. You never know. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit stumped. We're eating our goy slop right now, but just want to
We're
say we
fine.
love you. No homo. I'm sending you that weed package soon. I got you. Peace.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, real quick. So when
Yeah.
were you supposed to come on?
Okay, yeah. So also courtesy.
Yeah,
of
this is a
Courage-
cool story, actually. Yeah, go ahead and tell them. This is a good story.
Bimmy wouldn't have been a thing. Like she pointed out, like that she's a little bit jealous, and she thought that I would like Summer for some reason. And I'm just like, oh god, okay, who do you like, right? And then she's like, Jimmy, because he looks like you. I'm like, okay, bullshit. But when I saw you at different camera angles and how you referenced YouTube poop and like a bunch of shit, I'm like, what the fuck? We're similar. What the hell? And like you remind me of like some old friends I used to grow up with. Anyways, so right around as the TJ versus you fight came on, when you came back with the security guards, I got like a reply from the person who casted you guys. It was a chick. And we had like an interview. I explained my situation and like, you know, just the reason I couldn't come on was because of like family difficulties with like where I'm living and shit like that. And I kind of went with my gut, not to yap too much, but like I went with my gut feeling that it wouldn't turn out as good anyway. Because surely enough, you got kicked off. Number one, that would have defeated my purpose to like kind of fuck with you, but team up with you if I got on, right? And then supposedly water damage happened and like spoiled milk was all over there. I mean, normally I would handle it, but I have like allergies and shit. Not to be a bitch, but just being honest. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I didn't go on. But like, I was close.
Someday.
Hell
You
yeah!
never
No,
know.
no, we'll collab on some shit, man. You a talented nigga. Of
Well, thank you.
course.
Have
No,
you-
please.
Have you seen Bimmy's Halloween costume?
Oh god,
Yes.
that's
It was very silly.
we
It was
wanted
very
to do.
silly.
We were kind of on a budget. We would have gone more all out and like done some funny photos, you know. But like, yeah, it was just like a hodgepodge shit post.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Cool. Yeah, I always bring her up. No,
Bimmy talks very highly of his girlfriend. He calls her his Heina.
I mean novia.
Thank you.
I mean,
Well, I mean that's how men are supposed to be with their girlfriends. You talk
Exactly.
them up and you care about them.
we have to bring that back. Like Jimmy gets it. You know, like there's an etiquette and decency that's lacking, especially out here in LA. God damn, it's a fucking cesspool. Well, that's all I have. I mean, you can continue the interview. I guess I don't know.
Thank you very much,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Again, I really do appreciate you
Take care,
guys.
man. I'll also shoot you a copy of Jackass for the PS2. It's a fucking good. It's an M-rated Mario Party. It's a good game.
All right. Thank you.
Well, that sounds
Got you.
great. We got some other people have some questions. Jimmy, what do you got planned? What are you doing? What do you got going on?
I'm gonna be live streaming later tonight once this is over. Playing more Elden Ring. Just going to drink some water, chill out, grind through more Elden Ring. I've been playing that a lot. I enjoy Morrowind. Morrowind's fun. It's very long and considerably difficult. And because it is such an old computer game, in order for me to read the chat, I have to go through my phone. The other issue being is sometimes people will send me donations through Streamlabs that are just $1, but I'll still read them. I'm not able to move the mouse off of the game to read those donations. So it's sort of a technological nightmare to stream Morrowind due to how old the game is and how it's coded.
Yeah, Morrowind's hard as fuck. I think a lot of people who have never played it go to play it and they're just like, what the fuck? There's no map, you know, there's no anything. You'll find a scroll.
There is a map, and I did figure out
Maybe
you
no
don't-
waypoints, I mean, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
No waypoints. You do have to find your way around stuff pretty easily, but it's also known that there's no shame in cheating in the game through the exploit of pass negative 100 of whatever skill you're trying to level up to yourself, and then just keep buying training for 1 gold each, and then falling asleep when you run out of magicka to replenish it, go back, keep doing the same thing until you're level 100 in that skill. Right now I'm level 100 in heavy armor, so it's not as difficult. It's still a pretty tough game, even with level 100 heavy armor and a sword and shield, but it's much more manageable now because I did that exploit.
Nice. I think what kind of rig do you have? Because I got a shit ton of Steam games. I know I've told you this before. I'd be willing to send some
I
your
got
way.
a Predator laptop that I got from a very nice fan of mine who's also part of the Hoarderman crew. It's a nice gaming laptop. He just never used it, and he got a more up-to-date gaming PC, so he gave it to me, and
Nice. So it
it's
should be
very,
able to
very
throw.
nice.
Should be able to throw whatever I have at it, whatever I give you at it. Our good friend Melvin New wants to know what's up with the Girls Gone Wild DVD.
That's just stuff I found at Hoarderman's that I'm selling, but I can't list it on the Shopify because it's porn, and that's a big no-no. You can't have nude images on Shopify, so I list it on Twitter. I have sold a few and given some away as gifts. Admittedly, I did watch it, the VHS ones, not to jerk off to, but because I grew up seeing the Girls Gone Wild commercials all the time as a kid.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I would wait for the Girls Gone Wild infomercials. It was you'd have to watch BET after dark. They would show like a lot of twerking videos and then Girls Gone Wild.
They'd show up on Comedy Central for me when I was growing up. I did learn from watching them they are a perfect time capsule for early 2000s culture, like young adult baller culture. And it's very interesting to see just how chill everyone was back in the day and see all the old styles, clothing and hair wise.
There's a couple of girls that I grew up in Key West, and there's actually a couple of girls that I know who are in some Girls Gone Wild videos, like flashing their tits and things like that. But yeah, the clothing style of the early 2000s, the music of the early 2000s, to me, that's what I go to.
Just the kindness and chillness. It's not as petty and isolating as it is now.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
If you were to have a kid, what would the one lesson you would want to instill on your child be?
Make every moment last. I would teach them how to tell the difference between fake friends and real friends. They would not have unrestricted internet access. I don't think any child should really have a smartphone or just unrestricted internet access. That's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I wish I would have done that with my kid. My kid was watching Ronnie McNutt blow his head off when she was like 12.
So, oh geez, how old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a 17-year-old. So people out there think I'm a virgin. I got it in.
Congrats.
Buddy. Thank you.
When I find myself a nice wife, I plan to have 5 sons, and I don't care how many daughters it takes. I love all my children.
Yeah, I think you could do that. 5 you're gonna
5
turn
sons.
her into a breeding machine.
Yes.
Just keep pumping them out.
Well, I'm gonna make sure I have the money in the house so I can actually be there and raise my kids and not be the dad who's always off to work.
Nah, man. Listen, 5 kids. Let's say you have 5 sons and 4 daughters. That's some good Section 8 money, man. That's some good government assistance. You wouldn't have to work a day in your life.
I'm not having my kids grow up in that environment.
I agree.
Hopefully we'll get a law that's passed of, hey, yeah, if you have X amount of children, you don't have to pay income tax or any sort of tax.
Are you hopeful of the future with the current, I guess the current regime, the current president taking office, Trump taking office?
Not blindly hopeful, but relatively hopeful. Certainly infinitely more hopeful than if Kamala won.
Yeah.
Because before the SARS pandemic of 2020, everything was getting to be dirt cheap again. Our economy was coming back. We were about to get new steel manufacturing jobs here in our country again to begin becoming a big manufacturer and exporter of United States steel. That was one of our key industries that was sold overseas, countries that frankly didn't deserve it, and has only fucked us since then. The idea of being a information economy or service economy is an absolutely retarded idea that ends in disaster. Same with how you'll see all these people blaming capitalism in general for why things are so expensive because they're too retarded to know that the reason why inflation is so bad is because Nixon took us off the gold standard and we never bothered, and our government never bothered to start rebacking our currency, not just with gold, but with all sorts of precious metals again. That's why in the 70s the penny had a buying power. You could go to the store and buy a pack of gum with a penny. That's why I know it's possible, and relatively speaking easy, because in all of our electronics, there's gold all in the chips, on the connecting ports, because gold does not corrode and conducts electricity beautifully, especially in all of our tech scrap that's just lying around. All that can be harvested. There's a lot of places in this country where you can actually find platinum nugget and gold nuggets. There's just been no place that anyone had. There's just very few places where people have been able to build a mine for said metal and have it be profitable. Because for a mine especially, if you're not turning a massive profit within half a year minimum, you're not going to be able to keep it running, and you're not going to be able to pay your employees, and that's bad.
Have you ever heard that aliens are going to use Earth to mine for gold so they can use it for their... Have you heard of this crazy conspiracy?
That's a retarded conspiracy, considering not too long ago we had that asteroid pass by that was just loaded with gold. So there's gold all over the place in space, and their entire asteroid's made out of the stuff. So that really is just a retarded conspiracy theory. Because if there were aliens that could travel to Earth, they would not be here to mine our fucking gold. When there's so much more gold in space,
just floating
on
around.
Random asteroids, yeah, that they could tractor beam up or whatever and just bring back to their planet to mine.
I have 2 more questions, and then I think we can end up here. Have you played any of the new Fishtank Live games? The games on Fishtank.
I played them before they were put on Fishtank Live. They're really good. One of my streams, I actually played Luke Pumpkin Defense, and the creator was very kind to me, and he DM'd me in the middle of my stream that there's an Easter egg where if you push 2 buttons together, you unlock a new costume where Luke is in an SS officer's uniform.
Oh, nice.
And you're just throwing pumpkins at Brandon, Hilton, and Symbol.
Wow. I think...
I wanted to see them just put Brandon Hilton in a hole and give him a block of cheese, because that's what he claimed. That's what he claims his dad would do to him. It's the usual child predator backstory of why they're a child predator to try and justify it.
Yeah, I'm this way because my dad was abusive.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. You don't see me going around murdering a bunch of people or diddling kids because of the Utah shit or the whole other laundry list of bullshit. Like, it's just because you had a tough life doesn't mean you get to go around hurting people for no reason.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I am glad that at least from what we hear, right, that Luke will be working with NDE in some capacity. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Oh, I'm extremely happy for Luke.
And then I guess the last question, I hate fucking asking this question. What did the house smell like?
I had no sense of smell because I was smoking still, and I always French inhale my tobacco. So if someone or something smells bad to me and I can smell it, then that's when you know it smells bad. Nifty was the only person I could smell any body odor from. Not Sam, not Jet, not no one else who apparently didn't wear deodorant.
Was it her pits? Was it her cooch? Like, where do you think the stank was coming from?
I don't fucking know. It smelled like body odor, so somewhere on her pits or something like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of anything else to ask. I just wanted to basically like free run the interview, so that's why I didn't have a whole bunch of questions. Plus, you've already answered a lot of questions and other. If there's anything I didn't ask, I apologize.
Oh, you're fine.
Let me see. I think I might have one more.
Hey, Jimmy, I was wondering, would you be down to some night come back to Fag C and do a night of Toontown?
I could see that being done in the future. I don't know when, because my schedule's pretty booked, and I'm just juggling a bunch of shit as always. But I'm sure we could schedule a time, it would probably be a weekday when I'm off. Most definitely sometime in February, because this weekend I'm off to go work on a rap song with another fan/friend of mine that we're working on. I'm not big into rap. I don't plan to go down to make any sort of rap career. He's a rapper. He wanted me to kind of do a rap song with him. I said, okay, I can't rap, but I can do melodics. So I'm doing melodics in this song.
Nice.
And hopefully it turns out good.
Is it Eddie?
Main Eddie? No. I did let him know once I finish this project and tie up a couple of other loose ends, because I know for another indie movie I have to make some horror music. Once I get all that squared away, then I can probably do something with Eddie. But it's going to be the same deal where I might do melodics for a rap song, but I'm not a rapper. I don't want to be in that scene. It's just not my style of music, you know, and like no disrespect to people who are rappers or want to be a rapper. It's just not my style. I want to create electronic music, no particular subgenre, because I don't want to pigeonhole myself like Skrillex. Skrillex is a good example of it, where he pigeonholed himself into just his particular dubstep style without branching out, so it became really stale really, really quickly. And you see it with a few other bands that didn't really make it, where all their songs sound the same. I also want to retake over the rave scene to just have it be a fun place for outcasts to be, not sell out to snobs or posers, not try to lecture people on politics or morals in the middle of a fucking rave like Bass Nectar did when Trump got elected, where he had the sign saying, "No Trump, no USA, no KKK, da-da-da." And then, of course, he gets busted date raping a bunch of women, because that's just how do-gooders are. I'm sure you guys can think of a bunch of other musical artists who have fallen off and started trying to lecture people about morals and politics, and it's just a case of shut the fuck up.
I don't like it when musical artists try to bring politics into things. I used to like, there was like a rapper that I liked called, MC Chris. I'm sure you know who he is. MCP Pants from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, right?
I know MCP Pants, but not MC Chris.
MCP Pants is MC Chris, essentially, right? He also played Hesh in C-Lab. That's who he is, right? He's a nerdcore rapper, but when Trump took office, he started like making his like fans chant like "fuck Trump" like at his shows. I'm not there for your political opinions, you know. Like
exactly, like you're there to be entertained and have a fun time.
Right?
It's not even that. It's just put on a good show. We paid tickets for you to perform, so we can get plastered or whatever, and just enjoy the music that you make. We're not here to be lectured and told how to live our lives, or for you to demand that we align directly with your political views. Like that. Yeah. That's just some retarded shit.
It's a really big way to like fuck up your fan base, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing with Lil B, especially I stopped on. I only followed Lil B because he just shit posts sometimes. I didn't even really know he was a musician till later. He said, "Oh, for Trans Day visibility, here's this. We need this gender neutral shit," and he just drew Petey Piranha with a fat ass, like a fully detailed fat ass. I know I cursed him out because all they did was just sexualize a plant. That's all he did. Well, the message that he delivered was that he's some weird sellout who will circle jerk to social justice movements and sexualize plants. So he probably jerks off to Little Shop of Horrors. Rule 34 hentai.
I am going to look up Little Shop of Horrors Rule 34 when we get off of here. There's got to be something, right?
Oh, there's no doubt something.
Feed me Seymour.
I remember.
What's your funniest? Yeah, what's the funniest Rule 34 thing you think to look up? Let's get to the. I got. If you got a couple minutes.
The funniest thing to look up would probably be Thomas the Tank Engine, to be honest.
I have a Thomas the Tank Engine image, Rule 34 image, where he's like plowing fucking the guy with the hat, right?
Oh shit! So they finally made it where it's because
I'll send it to you after
season 2. Before season 2 is a shit post, I just like demand. I'd always bring up the question: why is there no hardcore Thomas the Tank Engine revenge porn of them just gang raping Sir Topham Hatt, like getting
Yeah,
sick of their
that is
shit and, like,
exactly what it. I will send it to you. It is hilarious.
I do remember though for a while, when Rule 34 came out, the motto did not apply because I would just look up like vague shit I used to watch as a kid that I thought to myself, okay, no way someone's made porn of it. And for many years I was correct. Then as once the internet became popular and a lot more degenerates came out of the woodwork, that's when now just about everything has porn of it.
Yeah. One of the things, it's funny you say that. And you were talking in season 2 and you mentioned a Rule 34 creator that I actually follow, and I'm just gonna say it like it is. I'm subscribed to him with my free Amazon subscription on Twitch. Zone Sama, right? Zone.
Oh yeah, Zone Sama.
Yeah. Do you watch any of her streams or any of her stuff?
Growing up, I watched the Starfire Raven hentai video. But yeah, I watched ZTV News. I really do like the voice actress for Zontan. Very pretty voice.
Yeah,
Never gonna meet her.
No
very
one.
pretty voice.
She's. I don't think there's no actual face reveal for her. Nope. I know she's worked for. She worked for Game Grumps for a long time. Has an animator and stuff. But no face reveal, and I'm cool with that. I don't want it ruined. Before we go though, I do have another female in here who is your biggest fan. She would like to say hi, and then we'll call it a night. So
okay.
Let me do what I can do here for you. Give me 1 sec. I have to give him a specific role.
Also, by the way, for those wondering, a nice fan that I vetted today for the Holderman crew gave me a bunch of foreign snuff, which is the tobacco powder that you sniff. So that's what I've been doing. This is like some really fancy shit. I think this is made in England or something. Denmark. Denmark is where this comes from. Oh yeah, that's why you've been seeing me do just little pinches and going like that. If you do a fuck ton, you get a wicked headache and your nose begins to burn. But yeah, really nice guy. He's like a tobacco aficionado.
I don't know where. If someone can give Jimmy Big Fan the role, I don't know where it is.
So Jimmy roles. Jimmy Big Fan's right in here.
Yeah, I know. I have to give him a specific role so they can cam up and talk. That's how we prevent craziness.
I got you.
There we go.
OMG, hello?
Hello.
OMG, dude. Jimmy Kimmel, I'm your biggest fan. I loved it when you brought Knocked Loose on, man. That shit was so awesome. Dude, I love you, Jimmy Kimmel, man. You fucking rock. Bring hardcore back to me.
All right.
Fuck
biggest
that bitch.
fan. He's your biggest fan, Jimmy. Jimmy, I appreciate you for stopping in, asking questions, letting us pick your brain. We got all your information up here on the side, right? Your YouTube and all that jazz. So
thank you.
And anything before you go? You good?
No, just thank you for having me on. Sorry if I seem spacey and a bit out of it. Again, for the questions about the bad stuff, I don't hate Jet or anything. It's just when you ask me about things that happened in my life, I can just remember everything that went on in 4D. So
no worries, man. But I appreciate it. From all of us here at FagC to you, we give you a big Elon Musk thank you. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Likewise. God bless you guys, and have a wonderful night.
Have a good night, everyone. Take care, Jimmy.
Bye.
Peace.